Every excuse you make, every reason you give for why you can't is nothing more than a chain holding you back. Excuses don't protect you, they imprison you. The strongest people you admire are the ones who rise above every obstacle, aren't the ones who had easier lives. They simply refuse to give their power away to excuses. I, Napoleon Hill, have learned that excuses are the greatest thieves of destiny. They dress themselves as reasons, as logic, as protection. But in truth, they are chains that bind the human spirit. Every time a man says, I cannot, because he surrenders not to circumstance, but to fear. Imagine living a life where nothing stops you, no more. I can't because, no more, maybe later. No more waiting for the perfect timing. Just pure, relentless action. Life will always hand you reasons to delay, reasons to quit, reasons to stay comfortable. But greatness begins the moment you decide to live with no excuses. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, you'll start tomorrow? How many dreams have you postponed because the voice of excuse sounded louder than the voice of determination? Now imagine if instead of postponing, you acted immediately. Instead of saying, I don't know how, you said, I'll figure it out. Instead of saying, it's too hard, you said, this is the challenge I need. That one choice to silence excuses has the power to completely transform your future. Excuses will always exist. Life will always throw obstacles, but excuses are just stories. Stories you tell yourself to justify staying where you are. They feel comfortable because they protect you from risk, from fear, from discomfort. But those same excuses that comfort you are the very things holding you back. The moment you stop believing them, you unlock a level of power you didn't know you had. Picture two people standing at the same starting line. One says, I can't do this. I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. I don't have the right tools. I don't feel ready. The other says, I may not have everything I need, but I'll give it everything I've got. Who do you think makes it to the finish line? Success is not about perfect conditions. It's about a mindset that chooses action over excuses. Excuses focus on why you can't. Action focuses on how you can. Action focuses on how you can. Look at the people who've made history. They weren't handed perfect circumstances. They had setbacks, failures, rejections. They had moments where quitting seemed easier, but they didn't let excuses dictate their future. A child born into poverty could have said, life is unfair. There's no way out. No way out. But instead, he used the hunger in his stomach as fuel to push harder, to rise above, to build an empire. An athlete told they weren't good enough could have accepted it, but instead, they trained harder, pushed further, and rewrote the record books. What separates them from the rest is not luck. It's their refusal to let excuses define them. At the root of every excuse lies fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of discomfort. But fear only controls you if you obey it. And you say, I can't, because what you're really saying is, I'm afraid to try. Yet the moment you step forward despite fear, you realize fear was never as strong as you thought. Think of standing on the edge of a diving board, heart racing, mind screaming with excuses. The water's too cold. What if I don't land right? What if I embarrass myself? But the moment you leap, the fear dissolves. Life works the same way. The leap is always where transformation begins. Breaking free from excuses doesn't happen overnight. It happens through daily training of the mind. You start by noticing when excuses appear. I don't have time. I don't have energy. I don't have enough resources. Then instead of bowing to them, you replace them with power. I'll make time. I'll find energy. I'll create resources. You choose discipline over comfort, action over hesitation. And the more you practice this, the more excuses lose their grip on you. Excuses are the language of avoidance. Responsibility is the language of power. When you blame circumstances, when you point fingers, when you justify, you hand your life over to things outside your control. But when you take full ownership, when you say, this is my life, my choices, my results, you reclaim your freedom. Because if you created your situation, you can also change it. Excuses chain you to the past. Responsibility opens the door to the future. So just imagine someone laughs at your dream, mocks your effort, tells you it's impossible. The excuse-driven mind would say, maybe they're right. Maybe I should quit. But the no excuses mind smiles, moves forward, and proves them wrong through action. Imagine failing again and again. The excuse-driven mind says, I'm not cut out for this. But the no excuses mind sees failure as feedback. as data, as steps towards success. It adjusts, adapts, and keeps moving. That is the difference between those who quit and those who rise. And here's the most powerful part. When you live with no excuses, people notice. They wonder how you keep moving despite setbacks, how you show up every single day, how you don't stop even when the world pushes back. They can't figure out why you don't break, why you don't give in. And that mystery, that unshakable presence is what makes you powerful. True strength is not about being loud, about showing off, or about proving yourself. It's about quiet, unshakable consistency. It's about showing up when excuses say down. It's about moving forward when everything tells you to stop. It's about having a presence so strong that it doesn't need to explain itself. A discipline so sharp that nothing can break it. Life will never be perfect. The timing will never be flawless, but perfection isn't the requirement, action is. Progress is, courage is. Every excuse you let go of brings you closer to freedom. Every time you silence that voice of hesitation, you strengthen your will. And every step you take without excuses builds the unstoppable version of you. So stop waiting. Stop justifying. Stop explaining. The world doesn't need your reasons. It needs your results. Your dreams don't care about your excuses. They care about your actions. Your future is waiting for you to step up and claim it. No excuses, no hesitation, no delay, just movement, just courage, just relentless forward momentum. Because once you master the art of living without excuses, you don't just survive life, you conquer on.